The Buffalo Bills only have 3 days remaining to extend key players on this roster. ESPN still thinks the Bills will be the favorites to win the division in 2026. And lastly, we're going over 2 cut candidates the Buffalo Bills can get rid of to free up about $8 million in cap space. Without further ado, let's get into this video. Welcome back to the Roundtable Sports. If this is your first time here, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to this channel and turn on post notifications so you never miss another video. But first things first, we're going to be going over key candidates that the Buffalo Bills could extend this offseason and why they only have 3 days left. So shout out to Kevin Masseray. He makes fantastic content on this channel. He says the Bills have until 2/16 to make any re-signing decisions on any of the players with void years if they want to use those years in the new contract. Those players are Matt Milano, Joey Bosa, Connor McGovern, AJ Epineza, and Daquan Jones. Now, as you guys know, these void years, basically what this means is we are paying these guys this amount of money. So Matt Milano, $11 million, Joey Bosa, $7.2 million, Connor McGovern, $4.8 million, etc. next year to not play for this team. Now, if we choose to extend these guys, we have to do it ASAP so that we could use that money to help lessen the cap hit this year and also push more money down the line when the salary cap in the NFL will only continue to increase. So why is that important? If we try to extend Matt Milano after this 2/16 deadline, we're gonna have to pay him $11 million this year just because of his void years. And if we do choose to extend him, any money that we pay him is going to be extra, and we cannot move that cap hit further down the line. That is why it's so important to make these extensions. And I'll pull up a spot track right here. And you guys will see that the players with void years, Matt Milano, Joey Bosa, Connor McGovern, scroll down a little bit, Daquan Jones, and AJ Epineza. So when it comes to AJ Epineza, this year we have to pay him $2.8 million in void money, but next year he's off the books, and we're paying him $280,000 in 2028. As for Daquan Jones, $3 million this offseason and nothing the next 2 years. But then when it comes to Connor McGovern, $4 million or $4.8 million this year, and $1.8 million the year after that, and $935,000 the year after that. But then as for Joey Bosa, we would pay him $7.2 million this offseason, at $1.8 million the next 3 years to not be on this team. Then as for Matt Milano, he has an $11 million cap hit because of his void years this year, and a $4.8 million void cap hit for next offseason. So he is the biggest number when it comes to the void years. Now, how would I approach these extensions if I were the Buffalo Bills? So the fact of the matter is we are already going to be paying these guys this amount of money. So if we extend them, let's say we extend Matt Milano to a 2-year deal worth like $20 million, we'd be paying him almost around $35 million over those next 2 years because of that void money. Now what the Buffalo Bills can do is either give him an extension in the range of 1 to 2 years for around $8 million and lessen the cap hit this year, add another void year so it lessens the cap hit further down the line. However, what I think the Bills should be doing is extending him 2 years to make sure that we could lower both of these next 2 years cap hits and spread out the void money over the next couple of seasons after that, just to ensure that his cap hit is going to be lower when the salary cap gets bigger. We don't have to worry about his cap hit as much as the future rolls around. As for Joey Bosa, I think bringing back on a 1-year deal, on a short, money deal, and spreading out that money over these next 4 years could be pretty valuable. And as for Connor McGovern, I just want him back because I think he, as a starting center, is one of the most important pieces on this roster, and the Bills need to make sure he sticks around. And using those void years as potential leverage to lower that cap hit even more this year, save a little bit of money, I think that would be fantastic. And when it comes to Daquan Jones and AJ Epineza, I think both those guys should be gone. So I think you just let that void money hit and you move on and deal with it. But now for the next topic. So we're going to have to bring up the Bills are still the AFC East leaders in odds in 2026. Shout out to the AFC East Roundtable putting this out on Twitter. The AFC East odds are out for next season. Now let's pull this up even closer. Bills are first, -110. Patriots are second and +110. As for the Jets and Dolphins, with all due respect, they are not winning the division next year no matter what happens. Now, why are the Buffalo Bills the AFC East favorites after the Patriots have won the Super Bowl, or not won the Super Bowl, but have made it to the Super Bowl? Well, the fact of the matter is, as you guys, I'm sure, are well aware, the Patriots have the easiest strength of schedule of any team in 2025, 2026. Because of that, they were able to make it to the Super Bowl. When they got to the Super Bowl, they were exposed by the Seattle Seahawks defense. Drake May looked rattled the entire game. Mike Vrabel was not as, in tune with his coaching during that game. And even with all of that being said, they won the division last year. The Bills fired Sean McDermott and hired Joe Brady to be your head coach why are we still the favorites to win the division? Well, the fact is, we still have Josh Allen. We still have James Cook. We brought in Jim Leonard to be your defensive coordinator, who is going to absolutely transform this defense. I'm confident in that. And we also have, just a bunch of brand new coaches on this coaching staff. I think will help elevate this team and help Joe Brady in his first year as the head coach of this team. And the reason why I'm not as worried anymore, and even with the hires that he's made in the last couple of days and weeks, I was confident in the staff that Joe Brady has built. But today, the Buffalo Bills announced the hiring of 20 assistants to the coaching staff. Now, most of these guys we already knew, like Bobby April, Rob Morris, he sticks around. He's now the run game coordinator. Austin Gunn sticks around. Who are some other guys? Jay Valai sticking around. Kelly Skipper, Drew Terrell. But there are two new additions to this coaching staff that we had no idea about. So one of them is going to be Kyle Shermer. He is the son of Pat Shermer, legendary coach. He's going to be the assistant quarterback coach for Josh Allen. Now, do I think at this stage in the career, a quarterback coach can really change Josh Allen too much? I don't think so, but still good experience to have around Josh Allen and Joe Brady. But the biggest hire to me, if you guys see that name right there, John Fox, senior assistant coach, legendary head coach, worked for Fox for a couple of seasons. He's now back in the NFL with the Buffalo Bills, who'll be the assistant coach to Joe Brady, helping him, keep his head on right, help him direct this team in the way that he needs to. And then just having that veteran presence next to Joe Brady will not only keep the Bills, aligned in how dominant they have been in the regular season, but I think he is the reason. Well, I don't think John Fox is the reason, but I think the veteran leadership around Joe Brady could be the reason why this team gets over the hump this year in the first year of Joe Brady as head coach and wins the Super Bowl. Now, don't quote me on that, but I think the staff that Joe Brady has built has been absolutely phenomenal. I think that is the reason why the Buffalo Bills have the best odds of winning the division in 2026. Now, a topic that is a little bit more sad surrounding the players cut candidates for the Buffalo Bills. Now, shout out to Bills Roundtable on X for putting these tweets out, saying this guy put out two tweets. Should the Bills cut Curtis Samuel, and should the Bills cut tight end Dawson Knox? Now, Curtis Samuel, I think it's a little bit easier of a decision. He has been very unproductive for the Buffalo Bills over the last two seasons. A bad contract given out by Brandon Beane. I think moving on from Curtis Samuel is great for both the Bills and Curtis Samuel. He just never found his footing here, and I don't think Joe Brady in year 3 will find the right opportunities for him in this offense if he couldn't do it in the first 2 years. Now, as for Dawson Knox, this guy has been on this team for quite a while now. He's kind of, I don't want to say a franchise cornerstone, but he has been kind of the glue that's kept this offense going. Even though his production has slowed down in recent years, he has been on this team for a while. He's one of Josh Allen's best friends, and he is just a great fit for Buffalo, the city as a whole. Now, that being said, he has an $18 million cap hit going into next season. He has 1 year left on his deal, and if we release him, we would free up $9.6 million in cap space. Now, Dawson Knox, I think he is a perfect fit for this locker room. So I think before you release Dawson Knox, because I think the Bills should do that, and not instead of just doing nothing with this contract, they got to do something. I think the first thing they should do, though, is they should approach him by taking a pay cut. They should say, hey, Dawson, we want you to stick around. We don't want to release you. We don't want to make you a free agent. We don't want you to go. However, if we do release you, you have $9 million, and you're one of the highest paid tight ends in the NFL right now, and your production just has not matched that. So I think if they approach Dawson Knox, not about taking his cap hit from $18 million all the way down to the vet minimum, but I think if they approach him and say, hey, if you take a $9 million pay cut, which is the equivalent of what we would be getting back in salary by releasing you, you can stick around on this team for an $8 million cap hit. And I think if Dawson Knox says, you know what, that's perfectly fine. I want to stay in Buffalo. Great. I'm happy with Dawson Knox staying on the team. But if Dawson Knox is not like that, if he does not want to take a pay cut to stick around in Buffalo, I think his time in Buffalo just should be up. Maybe they restructure his contract. Maybe they extend him another year to push the cap hit down the line. But I think the best case scenario would be a pay cut. And if not, just release the guy, free up the $9 million in cap space, and make some moves. I'll go right here to Stick the Model. This is basically an assistant GM's kind of website where you can make any moves that you want for any single team in the NFL. So going to this offseason, we have negative $7 million in cap space. And with the releases of Curtis Samuel and Dawson Knox, the Bills would be at $8 million in cap space without making any other moves. So I think just making these two cuts is very, it kind of just has to happen. I'll show you guys really quick right here. I'll get off the tight end position. If we restructure Josh Allen, if we restructure Deion Dawkins, if we restructure Spencer Brown, we're already at $30 million, and we could get moving this offseason. So I think the Bills have some very hard but also easy decisions to make in releasing Curtis Samuel and Dawson Knox. But Bills fans, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Bills fans, in this video, I went over the important extensions the Buffalo Bills would have to make before the 2/16 deadline. I went over why the Buffalo Bills still have the best odds to win the AFC East and why the Buffalo Bills should be releasing Curtis Samuel and Dawson Knox. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on if they should do those two cuts. But give me your final thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.